What's up, folks? How y'all doing? This is gonna be a nice little video, seeing as I had a nice syncretic moment. I just got a fucking idea. I just had a eureka moment. I just got inspired. Right on time in the witching hour. 3 to 5 in the morning, actually. Have all this energy. I just got a nice download and an idea and a video topic. What I'm about to say is not anything different than my usual videos because I have a bit of heretical views. If we were a country that wanted to bring back blasphemy laws, well, that would obviously be a problem. But a little bit on the obscene side, and I'm also covered in a skeleton motif. But I come in peace. I come with good intentions. I also come with my staff of wisdom. If there's one thing I can't fucking stand, guys, I really can't stand this. It just goes to show how superstitious society is. But for me, there's a bit of a difference between how it's perceived online and who it is that you talk to, alright? Now, I want to get a little bit on the spiritual side of things. I like making these spiritual topics. Now, for me, I want to just give you guys a few little little factoids about my spirituality. Things that I agree with. Space and time are not real. Life is more cyclical than it is linear. What we are surrounded by is the veil of Maya, or the illusion. There's more to life than just what meets the fucking eye. It's a hell of a lot deep. I also think that paradigm shifts is just par for the course of life. I embrace the absurdities of life. I embrace the dark side of life, the shadowy parts. Even if that means I look very fucking kooky. The other thing is, I don't believe in sin. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in sin, and I also don't believe in the end of days, which ties into the whole cyclical nature of life and time. And it's very occult. It's very occult. Part of my spirituality is not meant to see these archetypes as literal. Some people will see Lucifer and Satan as the same thing, as I grew up being confused because people have used those archetypes interchangeably. I use these guys as a metaphysical thing. They are aspects and deific masks that are a part of you that you could put on to embody those qualities and characteristics for whatever your intent and energy is going towards. So it sounds a little bit odd for some people, but I don't view Satan as a bad thing. As a matter of fact, as I stated before, I don't believe in sin. For me, it's more about the polarity and how extreme are you in your behavior, right? Like, even then I would say, well, it does depend, though. Like, if you're having these externalized forces that are controlling you rather than the control is from within yourself, that's where I start to see a bit of your shadows. And I tend to see a little bit of these shadows with some of these Christians, and I use Christians like this because how genuine are these Christians online? Seems to be that everybody's a fucking grifter these days. Whenever I see a lot of these Christians, let's assume that they are genuine about it. Or even if they're not, I have a problem with this superstition that dates back from the medieval time that you see until this very day. I think it is wrong and really cringe and problematic that you see a lot of these Christians with whomever it is that they disagree with, or whatever what their reason is, having to blame Satan on another individual's criminal offenses or other behaviors. I have a huge problem with that. Because here we are, we're in this false light. We have this false idea, politically speaking, that the far right is trying to be the counterculture, battling it out with the evil far leftists. I do believe in evil. Not objective evil, but for me, I believe that people that objectively hate your liberty are automatically my enemy, and they're evil. And there's ignorance too behind it. Whether you're blindly ignorant or willfully ignorant, I have a problem with that. So you have these guys that are trying to battle it out with the evil side, but what you notice is they're just two sides of the same coin. They're just mirroring one off of the other. The leftists, what they're going to do is, well, commit a crime, do something that they shouldn't be doing, something objectionable. They will be seen as satanic or will be called satanic from the other side. But if they do something that they shouldn't be fucking doing, violating someone else's NAP, they're going to absolve themselves of all responsibility. And you're seeing that going on systemically too. You have that issue going on in New York with the soft on crime situation. Okay, if you're going to steal something less than $1,000, you're not going to get charged. You're pretty much let go. So there's no responsibility. There's no onus. There's no punishing for the crimes that you have committed, right? So somebody on the far right or the conservative side will see some of these behaviors thinking that they're counterculture, thinking that they're doing the Lord's work, and they'll just point out that whatever thing that they're doing, the behavior, the crime, the outcome is that they're blaming Satan rather than blaming the individual for what it is that they're fucking doing. Using Satan, you know what you're doing? You're just absolving those guys of all fucking responsibility, and you're using Satan as nothing as a mere deflection. You're playing the blame and shame game, which is so fucking stupid. If you haven't learned anything from the fucking satanic panic, you're not going to learn anything now. Minus the fact that some of these satanic groups, feds in them. Kind of like the Order of the Nine Angles. I'm not quite sure about the Joy of Satan. I'm not quite sure. Or the Temple of Set. Not quite sure about those guys. But definitely the Order of the Nine Angles. And I get really sick and tired of these guys, these Christians, blaming Satan for these things. You're not any fucking better than the left, guys. And you're not counterculture. And I find even just a little off shoot for a second here. This rant's going to go a little bit off the rails, stick style as per usual. The term woke right. I have mixed feelings. I get the concept. But how's about if we have to put a definition to it? It would basically be what was happening back in the 1980s and bled into the fucking 90s. Moralists. A bunch of people who were fighting against the other side became the thing that they didn't like and forgot what it was like to mind their own fucking business, aka moralists. We had that once before. You know, I find it's more of I have to agree with Romanian TV, because it's not something that you find in Europe. It's more of an American thing. So as far as I'm concerned, when the Canadians start having to repeat a little bit of the rhetoric that the Americans from the South, these so-called Christians, will say, they're just utilizing those words and, you know, hey, we want Canada to be like America. Maybe not in that sense. Not in that fucking sense. Like, I think if you, like I said, you haven't learned your lesson from the satanic panic, I don't think you're going to learn it at all. Okay? And just because you're on the right, it doesn't mean that you've reached the age of reason either. It just means that that's the conclusion that you came up to at that point in time. You just became like that over time. And you're allowed to change your fucking mind. I'm not saying you're not allowed. I'm not saying a person can't change. Absolutely. But can we just, as a fucking society, stop blaming Satan for all the external shit that an individual does? It's weird. It's stupid. It's lame. Like, what happened? Like, especially on the right. What happened to taking accountability? What happened? We have to apply that to all people, so why not start now? Yeah, figured I'd just point it out because it's not gonna go your way. It's not gonna work. Not a good idea. Peace out.